Sitting here in his stead will be Cecil Petro. Am I saying that right?
That's right.
There you go. I have an Aunt Cecilia, and that's different. Cecile is not the same name, and hopefully I had an Aunt Cecilia. She's passed, and she lived in Highland, but so I'm getting that one wrong. But Cecil Petro, your position?
I'm the redevelopment director for the town.
For the town of Highland. And we could talk about a number of projects that are going on in Highland. Anything that you have an idea of that you think might be redeveloped, that kind of thing in Highland, we could do that. Or anything to do with Highland, this half hour is devoted to that. Who's to your right?
Well, to my right is Bridget DeYoung. She is a member of our redevelopment commission appointed by the town council. And she also serves as president of our Highland Main Street program.
What is that? What is that, Bridget? What's the Highland Main Street program?
Highland Main Street program is a group that works to facilitate business in the downtown area and to revitalize our downtown economically and, gain more foot traffic.
How do you get more
downtown.
traffic coming into the Main Street downtown area?
Well, we have some ideas, and we've been working with some of the businesses on our facade program, so it would just increase the physical look of our downtown to make it look nicer.
What do you mean the facade program? What's that?
Well, the Redevelopment Commission will help match part of the cost if you improve your facade for, your local business. So we have a couple businesses now working with us to redo the front facade of their building so that the business is more attractive to customers coming in and more interesting. So we help match we help match part of the cost so that they can get their feet off the ground on making those improvements.
So if somebody wants to fix up the outside, puts an awning on, or maybe paint it, or put some new brick or window or whatever it might be, so how does that go? How does that work? So say it's an $8,000 job. Mm-hmm. What's we want to take that one, Cecile?
Sure, I'd be happy to. What we're asking is the owners of businesses that are in the downtown, the facade that faces the curb. So, for example, if you have a two-sided building that on a corner, both sides of that building could qualify. Otherwise, we're just looking at the side that faces the curb. And if you want to improve that right now, we're trying to work with people who have at least a $10,000 project.
Oh, at least a $10,000.
At least a $10,000.
Okay.
Now we're looking at a possibility of lowering that for next year for simple things like awnings or lights. But right now we'd like to see an impact in our downtown. So we're looking for someone who wants to do a multiple project, facet project. For example, lights, awnings, painting, improve the brick tuck pointing or something like that, landscaping in the front. We have a couple that we're working with right now, and hopefully we'll receive their final application very soon.
We're talking to Cecil Petro and Bridget DeYoung. They're involved in redevelopment of Highland. If you've got any questions or suggestions, give us a call at 219-845-1100, 219-845-1100.
And one other thing, we match at 30% of approved costs.
So if somebody does a $10,000 project, they could get $3,000.
That's correct.
All right, what's an Indiana artisan?
There's a workshop today, Tuesday, October 11th, so it's good we'll cover this. Indiana Artisan is a program through Indiana where artists and food makers, maybe some crafts people, are able to get certified as an Indiana Artisan. And the reason we are getting involved in this is because Indiana Artisan is working with local Main Street committees in Indiana to get some of these artisans displayed in our storefronts. So, for instance, if you went to a hotel and you wanted to buy some local art, you would want people from the area there, a gift that you wanted to get from where you were visiting. That would be an Indiana Artisan display. Well, there's only one certified Indiana Artisan in Lake County.
And who is that, by the way? Does anybody know?
Yes, we know she makes soap, and she's from, I think, St. John.
Yeah.
That's St. John soap lady?
Yep.
Yeah, but throughout the state, there's a lot of certified Indiana artisans. So we wanted the program director, Eric Freeman, to come here and present to some of the artisans around here so they could get on the list. Because when they're putting out proposals for storefronts to include those artists' work in stores, and the artists would be paid, the stores would be paid a % commission for selling that artist's food or art. Well, we want the local artists in our area to have an opportunity to be able to display their art throughout the state of Indiana. And we'd also like to be able to know when people are starting a business in our own town, that they know who to call for, you know, things that are really unique to our area to be stocked on their shelves.
So it's actually through the state of Indiana. I just popped it up on the Google, and I didn't realize it's actually basically a governmental program. And we only have one person here in Lake County that's licensed for this.
That's correct. And as Bridget said, whenever you travel, at least I think she said it and I do, when we travel, we'd like to buy something from that place to bring home. And right now, when they come to Northwest Indiana, there isn't a place for people to go to purchase things that are made by local people. And the items have to be of a certain quality. They have to be of a juried quality, so to speak. So it has to be a certain level of quality.
You know what? I had never thought about that. If you came to Northwest Indiana and you wanted to buy something made by local people, where would you go? You could go to some of the collectible stores, and they do have stuff made by local people, but a lot of collectible stores have stuff that's made by non-local people.
Right.
In fact, they might have things that are made by Indiana artisans elsewhere in the state. So it could be that they're local, or it could be that they're from somewhere else, but this gives the local artisans an opportunity to actually ship out their goods to other places in Indiana and to display them here. So it would increase, you know, our culture in general and make our Lake County area more able to be seen in the artists community.
219-845-1100. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to line 1 with Larry. Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Jed. How are you today?
What's up, man?
Hey, I have a question. The Times is reporting that the town theater has been bought by the town of Highland, and I'm curious if these ladies have any idea what the plans are for it. And I'll hang up and let you
no, I want, before you go, did you ever used to go to the town?
Oh, religiously.
Why?
The intermission. Why not?
All right, let me ask. I'm curious. All right, you go there at 9 o'clock. You get a little of the, what was it? The Strackenvent. What was the bakery?
Elmira's.
Elmira's supplied the little cakes and so forth. Would you drink the coffee or would you go for decaf?
Oh, I drink the coffee. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'd go there so many times to a movie to wind down, drink a coffee at intermission, and not go to sleep till like 1:30 in the morning. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. Town Theater. This is Cecil Petro with the Highland Redevelopment.
Well, the Town Theater is a landmark for Highland, and not only a landmark, but it's also the building was built at a time when Highland was being fully developed. It's a mid-century modern building. We'd like to maintain that facade and keep the theater if possible. The Redevelopment Commission purchased the theater at the tax sale. What that means is we do not own the theater as yet. We did pay the taxes, therefore we have a lien. We're probably the major lien holder on the property right now.
On the Town Theater?
On the Town Theater.
So, all right, you bought it at the tax sale when?
Correct. The tax sale was September 27th.
All right, so that was the Redevelopment Commission? Or
Redevelopment Commission.
The Redevelopment Commission, which is funded through portion
through taxes.
Through the taxes. Okay, so you took some of the tax dollars to actually pay off the Lake County taxes. And you know what? I'm sure the caller has the same question. Wasn't it owned by a family or something?
Yes, it is. It's currently owned by a family. Actually, they live in Hammond, and they have operated the Town Theater for years. It's been closed for at least 5 years right now, and they have not done any maintenance to that. The family is in some hardship at this time. So we do want to maintain it if we can, and our purpose right now is to try to secure the roof for the winter. That's our major focus right now. Because we did have a site inspection, and we know there are some major problems with the theater. We don't yet know how extensive they are. We need to have a thorough inspection of it, but we do know that there are some major problems. Our hope, the best of all possible worlds, would be to have the theater come back just as it was, have those intermissions, and to make it much more than a movie theater, perhaps have some live stage productions or children venues for that theater, but that would be the best of all possible worlds. But we don't know yet how extensive, how much money it would take to bring that back. And at this point in time, our major focus, number one, is to secure that roof. After that, we will, begin talks with the family, but we really don't know at this time where it will all lead. We're trying to take it one step at a time. The family has 1 year to redeem the property.
That's standard at the tax sale.
Correct.
Like, in other words, is it public knowledge how much you guys paid?
Yes, it is. We paid it's almost $28,000 for both the theater and a parking lot, which is 2 parcels of land across the street. It has a Garfield address, but it's right on Kennedy-Garfield intersection.
So the parking lot across the street, I didn't realize that was theirs. And so you got the parking lot across the street and the town theater, but none of the other buildings, none of the other storefronts.
That's correct.
Just the town theater. And you paid $28,000 on that. So for them to get it back, they would have to pay the $28,000.
Yes. Well, they paid the excuse me. The first 6 months, if they redeem it within the first 6 months, there is a 10% addition. It's like an interest payment.
Okay, and on these tax sales, you don't always buy it for the exact amount of the taxes. So you bought it for the exact amount of the taxes.
Well, the theater we did.
Okay.
We were bidding against other people for the parking lot.
Okay.
So we went we purchased the parking lot across the street for $11,000. So I think it was about $9,000 over the tax sale price.
Okay, so they would not have to come up with that 11. They would just have to come up with that 2.
2 plus the 10% penalty. The first 6 months, if they redeem it in the second 6 months, it's 15%.
Okay, so there's a lot of particulars about that piece, and I'm sure you get that question a lot.
Yes, we do. Yes, and we're very hopeful that it can be brought back to what it once was. That's our hope.
Hey, we're talking to Cecil Petro and Bridget DeYoung. Cecile is the executive director of, the redevelopment director in the town of Highland, and you can ask her any questions right now. Also, Bridget DeYoung is on the redevelopment commission, and she's also as part of the Highland Main Street movement there. So let's go back to the redevelopment. What else is being redeveloped in Highland?
Well, we just finished up we spent 2 years developing our redevelopment plan, which is a second plan. We have a first redevelopment area, which is the downtown. The second redevelopment area now is going to take in all of the major business corridors in town. What that essentially does, allows us to give incentives to those areas. So now we'll have tax abatement available, TIF available, and if we can bring high-tech businesses in, we will have an incentive for them also.
What do you mean a high-tech incentive?
Well, there was a bill passed in the Indiana legislature a couple years ago. It was Senate Bill 448, and that allowed high-tech businesses to come in, and you could abate their personal property tax. They had to bring in $10 million worth of investment. With high-tech businesses, most of their cost is not the building, it's what's inside of it. And therefore, all the computer network and cables and the special air conditioning units and all that, all that can be abated. So our new redevelopment area, which is all of our major corridors in town, now is ready and waiting for high-tech businesses to come in, as well as other businesses to take advantage of the tax abatement and TIF.
219-845-1100 if you want to talk to Cecil Petro or Bridget DeYoung. Let's go back to the downtown area. Bridget, what do you want to see happen with the downtown over the next few years?
Well, of course, we'd like to see more of the small businesses downtown grow, and we'd like to see more businesses move in, but we'd also like to get more people to come downtown. So one thing we're looking for is partnerships that can work with Main Street for activities downtown. These partnerships would help us get enough the amount of volunteers we need to do things. And those, some ideas that we've come up with maybe would be if there was a snow day for the schools, that there would be snow day activities downtown. But we would like to work with an organization to help us with the volunteers for things like that. Or if, you know, suppose one of the Chicago teams won, and we have a lot of people out at Lingles and Rodney's and Traditions for that, but would we like to have a rally in the street beforehand? We would like to have standing committees for that type of thing, maybe a 3-point contest. Or even if our high school does really well in sports, we'd like to have them come and celebrate in our downtown area with all the cheerleaders and the different activities that they do. Because there's a lot of successes to be celebrated, and we'd like to bring those kind of towards our downtown more. So if people have interest in pairing with us to volunteer, or if just individuals want to volunteer to get involved in those type of things, they can always call us and get involved.